name is Elizabeth and I'm with the Indiana State Poultry Association. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about showing poultry. Before you can exhibit at a fair or exhibition show, your birds must be blood tested. What does this mean? All birds, excluding waterfowl, doves, and pigeons, must be blood tested for pylorium typhoid within 90 days of the show. This is to ensure that your birds are free from the disease and it will help to keep the disease eradicated. This blood testing program is through the National Poultry Improvement Plan, and its purpose is to keep birds healthy and prevent the spread of disease. An Indiana certified NPIP blood tester is the only one who can do your blood testing. To find the nearest certified blood tester to you, contact the ISPA office. The blood tester will fill out the pictured form that shows proof that your birds were tested. It is also important to note that each state has different rules and regulations, so check with their poultry association before exhibiting. The alternative to blood testing is if the birds are part of a certified NPIP flock, which means that they already follow a set of standards and have regular testing done. If you are interested in your flock becoming NPIP certified, please visit our website for more information. So next, how is a poultry show organized? The organization of the show may differ, especially if it is a smaller county fair. Typically, the birds will be classified as chickens, waterfowl, turkeys, meat production, egg production, and maybe even pigeons. They are then classified by their class, breed, variety or color, and then by their sex and age. So with chickens, they are categorized as large fowl or bantams. Large fowl are, of course, larger breeds, while the bantams are the smaller breeds. The breeds are categorized into different classes according to their origin or characteristics. Next, we have waterfowl, which includes ducks and geese. These breeds are categorized into classes by their size. At county and state fairs, you can find a meat production class. This typically will include Cornish cross meat pens. Each fair will differ, but broilers are typically a pen of 2 birds that weigh less than 5.5 pounds each, and roasters are a pen of 2 birds that weigh over 5.5 pounds each. They are typically under 8 weeks old as well. These birds will be judged as a pair, so you want their weight and structure to be as similar as possible. You'll also find an egg production class at the county and state fairs. A pair of hens or pullets will be judged on their egg production. Some shows will even have a turkey or pigeon class. So we talked about how birds are first categorized by bird type, then by class, and then by breed and variety. Next, each variety will be classified into sex and age. You can see in this chart what each bird is classified as according to their age. An example of a large fowl chicken would be a dark brown, which is the variety, leghorn, which is the breed, pullet, which means it is a female under 1 year of age, found in the Mediterranean class. When selecting your birds for show, you are first going to want to review the breed standards. The American Poultry Association publishes a book called The American Standard of Perfection. This will provide descriptions of what the bird's coloring should look like, their body type, weight, and everything else you might need to know. The book also includes disqualifications in specific breeds as well as in general. Before deciding on what birds you want to show, eliminate any birds that have disqualifications or defects. Next, compare your birds to the standards to see which ones will place the best. This will help them to get into condition and stay cleaner if you separate your birds from the flock. If you are showing egg or meat production birds, you will be selecting a little bit differently. There are resources available to guide you through the selection process. You should also check for parasites, especially lice and mites. You can look under their feathers and will be able to see the mites or lice crawling around on their skin or you'll see feces or eggs at the base or shaft of the feathers. If one bird is infected, most likely there are more birds infected, so it's best to treat everyone. You can use garden dust and sprinkle it into the bird's shavings. You can also use a flea and tick treatment to spray on their skin with 1 squirt each on the base of their neck and tail, under each wing, and above the vent. So about a week before the show, you need to get the birds ready. This means that you'll want to clip their toenails and beak, give them a bath, and clean their pens. You'll also want to treat for lice and mites if they have them. Meat birds and white birds may need to be bathed a couple times in order to get their feathers clean. You can use warm water and Dawn dish soap to bathe your birds. Make sure to do this in a warm area so the birds do not get too cold. In the summer months, weather permitting, it can be done outside. It is also important to spot clean the pens up until the show to be sure the birds don't get dirty again. When you head to the show, it's important to have proper carriers to transport your birds. The one shown here is a great example. If you use all wire cages, the birds are likely to tear up their feathers. You'll also want to bring some baby wipes in order to spot clean the birds before the show. A white lab coat, jeans, and closed-toed shoes are recommended for the show and showmanship. It's important to note that every show will be different, but these are some general things to expect. When you get to the show, you'll check in. Pens will be marked either by the exhibitor's name or their exhibitor number. Exhibitor numbers will allow the judge to fairly judge birds without knowing who the owner is. When judging takes place, the judge will go down the aisles to judge the birds. Oftentimes, he will have a clerk that will assist him in taking notes and writing down his placings. Some shows will allow the exhibitors to be present with the judge to hear feedback and comments. This is more common at county fairs. Placings and other notes will be made on the exhibitor tags. Once the champions and reserve champions of the classes are selected, they'll be moved to a champion row and in the running for grand and reserve grand champion. Some shows will have award ceremonies that announce winners, while other shows will distribute awards at checkout. This is how a general poultry show is run, but like I said, each show is a little bit different. For instance, some county fairs will have exhibitors bring their birds to the judge at a table. Find out from a past exhibitor to find out how your show will be run. Another competition at the poultry show will be what's called showmanship. This is a chance for the youth exhibitor to share their poultry knowledge with the judge. You'll need to know basic information about your bird, general poultry knowledge, and be confident in the way you present your bird. You can find a showmanship guide on the ISPA website with more information as well. Some tips to keep in mind are use a bird that can be handled easily, such as a bantam. Always move the bird in and out of the cage head first and then close the door after moving it. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions. So when you bring your birds home, you should quarantine them from the rest of your flock. This will allow them to be monitored for disease and parasites that they might have brought home. Returning birds should be quarantined for 2 weeks and new birds for 30 days. You'll also want to disinfect any tools, carriers, and other equipment that you brought to the show. This will prevent the spread of disease. Any clothes or shoes you wore to the show should also be disinfected. You can find more information on biosecurity practices from our resources on our website. For more information on showing poultry or preparing for the show, look for our other resources and videos provided by the Indiana State Poultry Association.